Hey, welcome to Dwelling Reports. My name is Rob Crouch. I'm one of the founders of Dwelling Reports, and I'm also a real estate agent in Fort Collins, Colorado. And well, I just wanted to welcome you and just say, hey, we truly hope that this is as helpful to you as it has been to us in helping our clients understand their home values. Now, the first thing to get you all set up and started is just setting up a client. Once you get a client set up, you're going to understand how this system works, and you can add all of your clients if you want to and create a really robust system for communicating home values to all your clientele. So let's get started with that. All right, so the first thing you'll do when you log in at dwellingreports.com is you'll come to the home page. So you see we have home page, we have clients page, and we have new client, all right? So your clients page, because you're new to this system, you haven't put any clients in yet. So it'll look a little different than this. So if you want to add a new client, you go ahead and you can click here on new client, or you can click new client here. Let's go ahead and add John Doe. And we'll put in a dummy email for him. And here's a property that I'm just familiar with in Fort Collins. All right. Now, if you wanted to add John's partner or spouse or somebody else who owns the house with John, you can add this secondary client here. Let's add Jane. And an email is helpful. All right, so now we got John and Jane added. Now this, you'll notice, is their mailing address. Now that's really important. You may not want to set up a dwelling report, or you may not be evaluating the price or providing a report for 1909 Pawnee. You might be doing it for one of their rental properties. So if you are doing it for one of the rental properties, you can just click no here, and then we'll start kind of prompting you on what's the rental property address, things like that. But for this example purpose, let's just set it up for 1909 Pawnee. All right, so you'll notice something happens here where we drop a pin right at the address of the property that you wanted to pull a report for. Now, when we're here, this is what we can use to filter results. Most people will just draw a map around this neighborhood. This one's called Indian Hills in Fort Collins, and hit done. And then, they'll leave most of these parameters wide open because you want to pull in as many homes within this map search area as you possibly can, just so you can see trends about price per square foot and days on market, so on and so forth. It just gives you more to talk about with your clients. But there's definitely properties where maybe you want to do a polygon here or an area on the map that's, really large. You can do that. Let's say we pull in, something like this. And then from here, maybe we filter some things down and things like that, wanting to see a certain amount of beds and baths, or maybe we only want to see ranch homes, anything like that, or price ranges, things like that. So I'm going to go ahead and clear this. The second option is sometimes we have really specific property. The market search is really helpful when you have a lot of sales in a specific area, like this area that I circled earlier. These are all like homes. There's maybe 5 to 10 sales in this area in the last 2 years. So there's a lot of good data there. But let's say, you're looking at an acreage property that has a barn and not an outhouse, but like a shop, things like that. Well, this search here may not be as helpful for you. Perhaps you actually just want to pull in comparable sales with MLS IDs. Totally valid. You can do that here. Drop them in from your MLS, separating them by a comma, and the report will populate the same. This button here allows you to do both, which I think is really nice, because most of the time this is what I use when I'm setting up a CMA for a client. Is I want to go ahead and circle the area on the map and then maybe pull in some other recent sales from another side of town that I think is valid. So yeah, that's how you do that. So once you do that, all you do here is I'm going to leave all these wide open, but you just hit next. Now, this kind of tells you what you did. It's just kind of communicating back to you. Now, if you want to call this polygon a certain thing, you can. This is Indian Hills. And that's a helpful thing for sure. It kind of populates into your report, can be a nice thing. From there, you just generate the report. So now what Dwelling Reports is doing is it's actually going into your MLS account and it's pulling together all of the recent sales that met the criteria that you inputted into the Dwelling Reports system. So you can see here, we're using 16 properties that have sold since September of 2020 or September 26th of 2023. So that's 2 years ago as this video is being recorded. So you get this great report here. And from here, you get to just see all the quick stats really quick. So you can come over here, you can kind of hover over these dots, figure out what's going on with them. This house one represents the subject property. So usually it'll probably be down here because your client bought it a while back and maybe the market's been appreciating. You can click on these dots, which is really fun, and see all the trends, how long it was on the market, all that kind of stuff. And so we have price versus finished square footage. We have price versus total square footage. We have days to offer. Again, you can hover all over this stuff. You can see that median days offer is 22 and then days to sold is 52, which makes sense, about a 30-day closing time frame. And so we have a couple other graphs as well. This is all the properties. It's really fun to click through these, and yeah, your clients can do all that. It's very interactive, very easy to understand all the trends and how this subject property stacks up versus all the recent sales in the neighborhood. One of the things that you go from here is you go ahead and you can actually send this report to your client. So we have all of these factors up here. Your clients, if you send this report to them, won't be able to see any of this. But let's say, your folks added a bathroom. We're pulling in MLS data from the last sale. So let's say they finished a bathroom in the bedroom, or a bathroom in the basement. It's a 5-bedroom now, and you can hit save changes here and make those changes if you want to. So that's how that goes. You can edit the parameters and it takes you back here. Let's say you have some outlier property that you don't like. You can come back in here and you can filter that stuff out, maybe using square footage or price or something like that. And that's a good way to do that. Again, hit next to move forward. It's going to go back in the MLS and pull this report back together. You have the option to put together this PDF report. If you click this, it'll pull together a PDF report that you can print. You can add properties. Let's say you decide that you find a property that's unique. You can just go in here and add that MLS number and it'll be added to the report. Then right here, you can go ahead and you might want to tell your client what the house is worth. So let's say, this house is worth 135 or 145 to 155. I know that's a big range, but that's great. And so in here, you can really talk about, hey, this is a great property and I want to bring your attention to XYZ property, which is a great comparable sale. And then more analysis. Hey, this had a 3-bedroom versus a 2-bedroom, whatever you want to do there. So once you save this market value in notes, the report reproduces, and then we drop in your market value that you said, and here's your property notes. So really fun way to do that. Now, this is the most powerful one that right here is send report. So what you can do here is you can copy this link and drop it into an email. I'll go ahead and I will drop this in. You don't need to do this, but so what you do is this is the client view that your client sees. So if you send this link, they can come in here, they can play with all this stuff, and that's really, really helpful for them overall. So yeah, once you've got this all set up, going back to the agent view perspective, now that this is all set up, when you go back to the client's view, you're going to see you have John Doe all set up with 1909 Pawnee. This is a report I did earlier. But yeah, so, and if you, let's say John calls you, you can just click on this link here. Maybe he has, several properties. They'll all be stacked up in this view here. And then you can just hit view report. And this link will be updated with the most recent MLS data that met your criteria. Pulling 2 years back is what we told this system, this report to pull back on. So that's the key is this is always live. So if a new property hits the MLS within your map parameter, it will be on this report and ready to be viewed and seen. So it's a really powerful system. And I hope you really enjoy it. And I'm hoping that your clients make really great pricing decisions after they're able to see all of this data in a way that they can easily understand. So have a great day. Happy dwelling reporting. And we'll see you soon. If you have questions, don't hesitate to reach out. Have a great day.